Russian forces fired missiles and shells at cities and towns across Ukraine on Saturday after Russia's military announced it was stepping up its onslaught against its neighbor. Ukraine reported at least 17 more civilians killed. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu gave instructions to further intensify the actions of units in all operational areas, in order to exclude the possibility of the Kiev regime launching massive rocket and artillery strikes on civilian infrastructure and residents of settlements in the Donbass and other regions, his ministry said Saturday. Russia's military campaign has been focusing on the eastern Donbass, but the new attacks hit areas in the north and south as well. Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, has seen especially severe bombardments in recent days, with Ukrainian officials and local commanders voicing fears that a second full-scale Russian assault on the northern city may be looming. At the same time, President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Ukrainians not to fall for Russia's attempts to scare them with warnings of horrendous missile attacks to come, which he said were aimed at dividing Ukrainian society. In the Kharkiv region, at least 3 civilians were killed and 3 more were injured Saturday in a pre-dawn Russian strike on the city of Chuiv, which is only 120 kilometers, 75 miles, from the Russian border. Suri Balvanov, the deputy head of the Kharkiv region's police force, said 4 missiles presumably fired from the Russian city of Belgorod hit an apartment building, a school and administrative buildings at about 3:30 a.m.
The Odessa OVA Sergei Bratchin. Warehouses in Kherson, Lugansk and Donetsk regions were destroyed.
Ludmila Krakshina, who lives in the apartment building that was hit, said a husband and wife were killed, and also an elderly man who lived on the ground floor. In the neighboring Sumy region, 1 civilian was killed and at least 7 were injured after Russians opened mortar and artillery fire on 3 towns and villages not far from the Russian border. In the embattled eastern Donetsk region, 7 civilians were killed and 14 wounded in the last 24 hours in Russian attacks on cities.
Ни по каким гражданским объектам российская армия ударов не нанесла.
In the neighboring Luhansk region, however, Ukrainian troops repelled a Russian overnight assault on a strategic eastern highway, adding that Russia had been attempting to capture the main road between the cities of Lysychansk and Bakhmut for more than 2 months. The Luhansk and Donetsk regions make up the Donbass, an eastern industrial region that used to power Ukraine's economy and has mostly been taken over by Russian and separatist forces. In southern Ukraine, 2 people were wounded by Russian shelling in the town of Bashtanka, northeast of the Black Sea city of Mykolaiv, according to regional governor, Vitaly Kim. He said Mykolaiv itself came under renewed Russian fire before dawn Saturday. In Odessa, a key port city on the Black Sea, a Russian missile hit a warehouse, engulfing it in flames and sending up a plume of black smoke, but no injuries were reported, local officials said. Two people were killed and a woman was hospitalized after a Russian rocket strike on the eastern riverside city of Nikopol, emergency services said. Dnipropetrovsk Governor Valentin Reznichenko said a 5-story apartment block, a school and a vocational school building were damaged. On Friday, cruise missiles fired by Russian bombers struck Dnipro, a major city in southeastern Ukraine on the Dnieper River, killing killing at least 3 people and wounding 16, Ukrainian officials said. On Saturday, Russian defense officials claimed that strike had destroyed workshops producing components for and repairing Tachkiu ballistic missiles, as well as multiple rocket launchers. The Ukrainian Air Force said Russian forces fired 6 more cruise missiles Saturday from strategic bombers in the Caspian Sea, and 2 hit a farm in the Cherkasy region along the Dnieper River. But agricultural equipment was destroyed and some cattle were killed, Regional Governor Ihor Tabaret said. The Ukrainian Air Force said the other 4 missiles were intercepted. Russia claimed the Kalibr cruise missiles hit a military facility that was hosting a meeting between Ukrainian Air Force Command and foreign weapons suppliers. Ukrainian authorities insisted the site, a concert hall, had nothing to do with the military. Ukraine's Atomic Energy Agency says Russia is using Europe's largest nuclear power plant to store weapons and shell the surrounding regions of Nikopol and Dnipro that were hit on Saturday. Petro Kotin, president of Ukrainian nuclear agency Energodom, called the situation at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant extremely tense, with up to 500 Russian soldiers controlling the plant. The plant in southeast Ukraine has been under Russian control since the early weeks of Moscow's invasion, though it is still operated by Ukrainian staff. The occupiers bring their machinery there, including missile systems, from which they already shell the other side of the river Dnieper in the territory of Nikopol.